Are you a prospective Northwestern student who's rushing to write their Why Us Northwestern essay because Northwestern was not on their list and decided to finally put Northwestern on the list because they've never heard of the school and decided that it was probably a good choice because it's number 9 on the US News list? If yes, or if no, it doesn't matter. Today I'm going to talk to you through all of the different departments here at Northwestern. You see, I had so much difficulty in understanding the academic system back when I was trying to write the YS Northwestern essay. So that's why I'm going to make this video today. Can you even see that line? This can give you a very, very shallow overview of everything, but it should help you in writing your essays because then you can know which department you want to choose and then you can research more based on there. All of these are on the Northwestern University's website. So if I mess up, like, don't blame me. Go look for the information yourself. Before we can dive into any of the departments, first we need to understand a few things. First, there is something called distribution requirements, aka distros. Next, you have your major requirements. And after that, you have your department requirements. I'm just gonna put DP. Don't question it. Now we have these 3 things in mind. Let's start with Weinberg. First department, Weinberg, the most stitched together wacko ass department you could ever find. Because this is the undeclared department, aka arts and sciences, because we decide to combine them because you can't decide on what you're doing. Weinberg is the most weird department. I take that back. Weinberg is the most normal department at Northwestern. So essentially, what I was talking about before with the distribution requirement, especially applies to Weinberg, because for distributions, you need to take 2 courses in 6 different categories. There's formal studies, ethics, literature, sciences, etc. And then after that, you need to take foreign language for Weinberg. I know you have to be at least a sophomore level of foreign language proficiency to be able to test out of this Weinberg foreign language requirement. But if you already know foreign language, this department is definitely for you because you can test out of 2 years of foreign language classes. Then of course you have your major requirements. So for example, I'm a CS major, so then that major itself has its own requirements. So all 3 of these have its requirements. Your credits are more like all of this added together equals your credits. If all 3 of these add together is under the amount of total credits you need to have, you need to take more courses until you reach this credit amount. Yeah? I know about Weinberg the most because I'm in it, but it's crazy because for Weinberg, it's you can have a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science for a lot of different degrees that doesn't make sense at all. So I know this one person on my floor in my residential dorm who is getting a Bachelor of Arts since he's in Weinberg. He's getting a Bachelor of Arts in chemistry, which is absolutely insane. Because it's arts in chemistry, right? But then again, I'm a CS major, but I'm getting a Bachelor of Arts, which I guess is more common than a Bachelor of Arts in chemistry. But I just want to say that there is a lot of options. Nico, I don't need your judgment on my chalkboard erasing, okay? We're going to know everything by letters. This is Weinberg. Next, we're going to move on to the other departments. Weinberg and its arch nemesis, McCormick. One's a W, one's an M, obviously. So the thing about McCormick is this is the engineering department. So if you're an engineer, civil engineer, industrial engineer, computer science engineer, you belong in McCormick, okay? You're a McCormick kid. I personally hate McCormick because the difference between Weinberg and McCormick, I guess Weinberg mostly is Bachelor of Arts, correct me if I'm wrong, and McCormick is mostly Bachelor of Science. But I know for Weinberg, you have to take the foreign language credit, yes. For McCormick, you don't need a foreign language requirement. You're what? Why doesn't everyone go to McCormick then? Because for McCormick, you need to take chemistry and physics. I think those are both combined into the EA classes, which you would assume mean English arts, but it does not. It means applied engineering or something. I don't know what EA means. I'm not in McCormick, but as you can see, McCormick kids are weird. I would much rather stick to foreign language than take chemistry and physics. That's just a personal preference though. Oh, you wanna know something else? Weinberg has reading week? Weinberg has reading week, which means there's 1 week before the finals where you have no classes. McCormick students don't have this. They have to take classes before their final. The week before their final, they are still taking classes. This whole EA aspect, that turned me off, okay? I don't like foreign language, but I much rather do foreign language than this. And if you want to talk about GPA wise, I would say take foreign language over this. Weinberg and McCormick. the normies. Now we're going to move on to the special kids inside of this weird classroom that we have. Special kid number 1, CESP. You might be wondering what CESP is. So CESP is the School of what the fuck was CESP? School of Education and Social Policy. CESP gets shit on a lot. In like almost every social setting, it gets shit on. That's supposed to be a shit, but you know what? That's fine. CESP should not deserve this much shit, but it does, because CESP, a lot of people say that CESP classes are much easier. I haven't experienced them, so I cannot say. But I just want to tell you that CESP gets shit on a lot. Anyways, if you're wondering what CESP does, CESP is basically if you want to work in HR or if you want to be a teacher, you would go into CESP, which I think is frankly quite an interesting take, because like it's its own department compared to other schools. Like if you were to get an education, like I don't know if it's called like an education major, like that would still be under, usually it would be like under like the Weinberg of a different school, but we have its own department, I think. I don't know. CESP, next one, School of Communications, or COM. School of Communications is also a very interesting department. I was considering going into School of Communications till I realized I probably cannot make as much money as if I did a CS major in Weinberg, so that's why I chose that. You can take classes from the School of Communications by requesting, but you don't get priority like at all. My writer also apparently said that the theater program has a 1% acceptance rate. I don't know if that's accurate, but we're just gonna go off the impression that it feels like that, then we'll never be wrong. In School of Communication, I know there's an RTVF major, and the RTVF major is the radio, television, videography, I think, and film. RTVF majors are also very interesting. I don't quite know the requirements for those, but know that this is very, very different from any of these normal majors. Their classes often have a lot of projects from what I remember, but that might only specifically be for film majors. So, well, you guys can search more on that, but there's a School of Communications especially and like only for these RTVF kids. Next one, Medill. Medill is actually the best in our school, but I've never seen any of them because I've literally never met a Medill major here. Like, I don't know if it's just because of where I'm living on campus, but I have never seen a Medill student. Whatever, that's not the point. Medill, I'm pretty sure it's the most competitive because Medill is like ranked like top, I'm gonna say at least top 3. I'm pretty sure it's like top 1 in the nation because like Medill, the School of Journalism, our school has a whole ass journalism department. Like, this is how good it is. Like, a lot of the top anchors, like George R.R. Martin, like, he's the guy who wrote Game of Thrones. Everyone knows the name, but never knows who the author is. But that's also something, that's for the future, whatever. Medill is a whole school for that. And I don't know that much about it as well. But I do know that, for example, they do stuff by writing papers, obviously. That's the whole point of journalism. I know that they're so strict that if on your paper, like, you have one grammatical mistake or one inaccurate fact, you get an F. Otherwise, you get an A. So you can it's only F or A. You can fail or you can get an A. That's what I heard. I don't know how true it is. That might be just like one class, but this is Medill and it's hard to get into. It's very competitive. You almost have a guaranteed rate of getting into like a good journalism job when you get out though. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, don't take my word. Do Google research yourself. Shut up. I'm doing my best to erase, Nicole. Medill. I'm just gonna M-dill. Okay? That's good. The last but not least, I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna get yelled at no matter what. The last but not least is Beanen, which my writer forgot to talk about in the script. Beanen is actually very, very, very interesting because Beanen is a school of music. I'm pretty sure if you want to get into Beanen, you have to apply like separately. Like you have to send in like an audition. I don't know if you have to play live or not, but the School of Music is also one of those very interesting majors. Our school has a very, very good policy on double majoring, which I will get into later in this video. But being in the School of Music, you guys have a lot of interesting classes. I know that you guys have to take theory, for example. There's like this class where you have to like listen to music and be able to like know what piece it is, or I'm not sure if you guys have to do, I know eventually they'll have to do like the Roman numeral counting thing of music theory. If you know music theory, that's what I'm referring to. A lot of the music classes that you might want to take, you might not be able to take it because business students get priority. The same thing is for like the School of Communications and like any film courses. Like they are very competitive for non-majors because all of these music majors, like for them it's a requirement and then they will get priority. So I just want you to keep that in mind when you're applying to Northwestern. I'm not sure if this is all the departments, but we're just going to leave it at here and move on to double majoring. So Northwestern has a quote similar to literally every school in the United States. And is our DNA. That's not an N. Oh, no. And is in our DNA. And is not our DNA, sorry. And is not our DNA. And is in our DNA. Our DNA does not only comprise of and, it's only in. Technically speaking, it's a play on words, right? Because DNA, like, and is in, like, and is the backwards of DNA? What? Oh no, my shirt is full of chalk. So the thing about double majoring is that you cannot double major in these special kids schools, okay? You can only double major in one of these normies and one of these double majors, I think. Oh no, I take it back. McCormick, apparently, I don't think it's a normie school. I'm pretty sure it's a special kids school. So like, Weinberg, you guys are alone. But essentially, you can only double major across these. So you can pick one Weinberg major and the rest and one of these. I don't think you can do two of these. So you can double major in Medill and the School of Communications. But the good thing is that switching majors here is like literally so easy. You can just submit like a request to your department head, to like your advisors, and then like just follow their instructions. It's really easy to switch is what I'm saying. The only issue is that, again, remember the previous requirements, Nico, throw it on the screen. You need to have like your major requirement, your credit, whatever. All those will change depending on what school you go into. So that's the only thing that you should be careful about, because you might need to like study an extra half year or a year just to fulfill your credits. But you can switch anytime you want to. Like there's no big deal. Here at Northwestern, there are also things called special tracks. Okay, we're gonna talk about these special tracks first. So there's MMSS, which I'm pretty sure is like some combined advanced mathematics sequence. BSMS, which is like Bachelor of Science to Bachelor of Science to Master's in Science. Essentially, the BSMS degree allows you to get a master's degree in 5 years. I'm pretty sure this is only in a few select areas, in a few select majors, but that's an interesting option if you want to pursue that. There's the Kaplan Scholars. I know nothing about that. Assured Feinberg essentially means that if you want to get into a medical school, this program essentially makes sure that you get into a medical school no matter what. Besides from these special tracks, there is also something called certificates here at our school. And I know this is a lot, but you'll be able to process this, don't worry. Certificates are another thing completely. So there are two certificates that I want to pay attention to. One of them is IMC and the other one is Kellogg. Of course, there are a lot of other certificates in any of these departments, so you can just search on their website and they should be able to list like all of the different certificates that you can get. I think you can just find that in like the Northwestern majors like catalog. But essentially, IMC certificate is in the School of Medill. So even though I'm a Weinberg, I can get a Medill like certificate. The other thing is Kellogg. So the Kellogg CPU certificates is what it's called. It's not computer processing unit, okay? Same thing as a DP, okay? Don't let your mind trail. So CPU, essentially CPU, there's two different types of CPUs. There's the MA and there's the FE. Man, I feel like I'm in like a math class teaching people random letters. So MA is just managerial analytics. FE is some econ, whatever, it doesn't matter. You just need to know that these two are like business type certificates. And there is a business minor, but this is different. Kellogg is actually a graduate school, and it's like the most luxurious building here on campus. But if you want to get access to Kellogg, you need to take one of these certificates. I know that's a very arbitrary reason, but you know, it's another reason for why you want to do that. But these certificates are extremely hard in terms of prerequisites. The courses themselves, I don't think they're that hard according to some people, but you need to take a lot of math and a lot of economics and stats to be able to take either of these courses. So just want to say Kellogg is a graduate school building. So Kellogg is a graduate school department specifically for business, right? Never mind. Kellogg is a school specifically for management. And I know that their marketing program is one of the top in our nation as well, because I did some research on that. We went through a lot, did we not? Okay, the only other thing I can think of right now is for minors. I'm pretty sure you can get that like anywhere, because this cross thing only applies to majors. I'm pretty sure you can still get a minor like across these special schools or across from normie to like 2 minors. Essentially, Northwestern wants you to be flexible. So these certificates are almost equivalent to like 1 minor, kind of. It's a little bit funky when it comes to credits, but we don't worry about that. Like I have to stay here for like 2 summers because of the amount of credits I need to take. But essentially, I'm getting 2 certificates and I have 1 major. And I'm in Weinberg. So, you know, most people here take 1 major and 1 minor, or they double major and they can graduate within 4 years without having to study in the summer. Since I'm doing 2 certificates, most likely I need to stay during the summer. So like 2 more quarters, which I personally think that's fine. It's not that big of a deal. But it depends on whatever you want. So if you want to double major and still graduate in 4 years, like this school's like for you, you know? So I need to wrap this up because I am currently doing the 24 hours in tech challenge. But there's 2 more things I want to talk about. One is your advisors. So the advisors here at Northwestern are your professors, which apparently in other schools it's not like that. So that's kind of weird. But you essentially have a department advisor. So let's say you were Weinberg or you were McCormick, you will have an advisor from those different departments. You will also have an advisor for your major itself. Let's say I'm a CS major, you will have an advisor for your CS majors. If you're getting a minor or certificate, you will have an advisor for that minor or certificate. So that's why the advising system is so good. In your first year, however, you have a different set of advising. You have your first quarter or something, first semester advisor. Your first advisor is going to be in your fall quarter. You also have a peer advisor during then. Usually they're a sophomore, but you also might get a junior or senior PA. But just know your freshman system kind of is a little bit different. But mostly from freshman spring quarter and beyond, you're following this. It's so short. You're following this system. I literally cannot hold on to this any longer. Okay, I'm in a rush because they just called me. Okay, 2 things. 1, good classes. Some good classes that my writer wrote. Nico, just copy it from the script. Marriage 101, Buddhist psychology. Apparently all you do is to learn to meditate. In Marriage 101, you learn about marriage. I don't know about that professor, but that's fine. The second one is misleading subjects. So essentially, subjects that are misleading. Astronomy, don't take that unless you're into physics, because it's not about astronomy, it's basically physics. Chemistry is really hard. Everyone complains about it all the time. The average is like 40, like every time. Anyways, that doesn't matter. And here it's Northwestern. There's no such thing as an easy major. Everything is hard as shit. So, good luck with your application process. I need to go. That chalk is dead. I'm also dead. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!